Hello, my name is Jeff. You might recognize me from an earlier video that I did of a dual exhaust on a Polaris slingshot. Today's video is how to install a cold air intake that I have for them. You have three different color choices: red, blue, and the most popular, black. The air intake itself is all one piece aluminum. The mounting brackets are welded on, no other hose clamps in between the boot and the clamp that holds the air breather on it. Okay, so today I've got the body off my bike. I'm also in the process of getting ready to paint it. It works out good so you can see how the stock cold air intake fits under the hood and then with my upgraded cold air intake. Obviously everybody knows it's just the same thing as opening your hood. Okay. The tools required to install the intake are pretty minimal. You got a 10mm socket, 6mm nut driver, a 7mm nut driver, a 13mm wrench, and a pair of side cutters to cut the one zip tie. You can also use a flat tip screwdriver if you don't have the nut drivers. So we'll go ahead and get started. You got 3 bolts holding the stock intake in, 2 up front, 1 right here. This one might be a little hard to see in the video, but they're very easily seen. There's the 10mm bolts. Go ahead and take those loose. Alrighty, there's your 3 bolts. Let's go ahead and set those aside. You're not going to need them. You need to take the air breather PVC line off. Just pull it off, like so. Your oxygen sensor, just go ahead and remove that right out of the rubber housing, like that. Take your nut driver, loosen up the clamp. Once you got that loose, you should be able to lift it up. Okay. There's your whole air intake. That's the factory air intake. That's all that there is to remove that. Set that aside. You're not going to need anything from that. The one that will be shipped to you will look just like this. Other than when it comes to you, the air filter will be in a separate box. It's too hard for me to ship them that way. All this will already be preset where everything needs to go. That obviously is your line for your PVC. It's going to go right back here. This mounting bracket uses the top hole on the front of the engine block. That's going to be a 13mm bolt that will come supplied with it. It sits right here. So this is how you install it. Go ahead and stop for a second, Bill. In the kit, you're going to get a 13mm bolt with a lock washer. That goes right on top to the top hole in front of the engine block. Thread it in quite a ways to where it's going to make it easier during the install. After you've got that started, grab your intake, set this end over the air filter, or the air breather, carburetor, and that end goes right there. Take this end, push it right over that. Once you've got those, then you can go ahead and tighten up your hose clamps. Obviously position the hose clamps wherever you're going to like them, easier to clean. Don't like the look of it sitting in one spot or another. You can just move them. That's that part. Take the 13mm wrench, tighten up your nut, or your bolt, excuse me, on the front. That part's installed. Your air filter. On the tube itself, it's going to come with a mark. That's how far you want to run your air filter on. Put your air filter into place. Tighten the hose clamp for it. And that's on. With your side cutters, you want to cut this zip tie right here on this factory, right where the white tape is, so you can get just a little bit more room out of the wiring harness for the oxygen sensor. Just route it whatever way looks best to you. Some people have done them completely underneath like this. Put that right into the hole on the front. Now you have your stock sensor and your cold air intake. That's all it takes to install that. Nice and sturdy, not going anywhere. All one piece. A lot more better throttle response. And it sounds a little better. You will gain also just a little bit of horsepower, not much. But you will gain a lot of throttle response. I'll go ahead and close the hood so you can see how it fits. That's how it sits underneath the hood. Very nice and tight, all in the factory positions, and you still have good airflow. So here's another look of how that intake fits under the stock hood. Here's your piping. Your air filter sits right through here, all very nicely underneath the stock hood. Fits perfect. Okay. If you're interested in getting one of these, you can email me at goldwingtrike@q.com, the letter Q. The price on these is $200 with freight. In the email, you need to let me know whether or not you would like red, blue, or black, and I accept PayPal for payment. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy your slingshots. Thank you.